Welcome to Daily Scripture Reading. I do not own the rights to this music. These are scriptures about the upper room. The definition of upper means situated above. It can also mean higher, loftier, superior, or top. The definition of room: space that can be occupied or where something can be done, especially viewed in terms of whether there is enough. Can also mean area, territory, or expanse. I will read the Amplified Version of Daniel chapter 6. Daniel serves Darius. It seemed good to Darius, who became king after Belshazzar, to appoint over the kingdom 120 satraps who would be in charge throughout the kingdom, and over them 3 chief commissioners, of whom Daniel was one, that these satraps might be accountable to them, so that the king would have no loss from disloyalty or mismanagement. Then this Daniel, because of the extraordinary spirit within him, began distinguishing himself among the commissioners and the satraps, and the king planned to appoint him over the entire realm. Then the other 2 commissioners and the satraps began trying to find a reason to bring a complaint against Daniel concerning the administration of the kingdom, but they could find no reason for an accusation or evidence of corruption, because he was faithful, a man of high moral character and personal integrity, and no negligence or corruption of any kind was found in him. Then these men said, "We will not find any basis for an accusation against this Daniel, unless we find something against him in connection with the law of his God." Then these commissioners and satraps agreed to approach the king and said to him, "King Darius, live forever. All the commissioners of the kingdom, the prefects and the satraps, the counselors and the governors, have consulted and agreed together that the king should establish a royal statute and enforce an injunction that anyone who petitions, prays to any god or man besides you, O king, during the next 30 days, shall be thrown into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the injunction and sign the document, so that it may not be changed, in accordance with the law of the Medes and Persians, which ensures that it may not be altered or revoked." So King Darius signed the document, that is, the injunction. Now when Daniel knew that the document was signed, he went into his house, now in his roof chamber. His windows were open toward Jerusalem. He continued to get down on his knees 3 times a day, praying and giving thanks before his God, as he had been doing previously. Then by agreement, these men came together and found Daniel praying and making requests before his God. Then they approached and spoke before the king regarding his injunction. "Have you not signed an injunction that anyone who petitions, prays to any god or man, except you, O king, within the designated 30 days, is to be thrown into the den of lions?" The king answered, "The statement is true, in accordance with the law of the Medes and Persians, which may not be altered or revoked." Then they answered and said before the king, "Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judah, does not pay any attention to you, O king, or to the injunction which you have signed, but keeps praying to his God 3 times a day." Then as soon as the king heard these words, he was deeply distressed over what he had done, and set his mind on rescuing Daniel, and he struggled until the sun went down, trying to work out a way to save him. Then by agreement, these same men came to the king and said, "Know, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and Persians, that no injunction or statute which the king establishes may be altered or revoked." Daniel in the lion's den. Then the king gave a command, and Daniel was brought and thrown into the den of lions. The king said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you constantly serve, rescue you himself." A stone was brought and laid over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet ring and with the signet rings of his nobles, so that nothing would be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king returned to his palace and spent the night fasting, and no music or entertainment was brought before him, and he remained unable to sleep. Then the king arose at dawn, at the break of day, and hurried to the den of lions. When he had come near the den, he called out to Daniel with a troubled voice. The king said to Daniel, "O Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you constantly serve, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Then Daniel spoke to the king, "O king, live forever. My God has sent his angel and has shut the mouths of the lions, so that they have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him, and also before you, O king. I have committed no crime." Then the king was greatly pleased and ordered that Daniel be taken out of the den. So Daniel was taken out of the den, and no injury whatever was found on him, because he believed in and relied on and trusted in his God. The king then gave a command, and those men who had maliciously accused Daniel were brought and thrown into the den of lions, they, their children, and their wives. And before they reached the bottom of the den, the lions overpowered them and crushed all their bones. Then Darius the king wrote to all the peoples, nations, and speakers of every language who were living in all the land, "May peace abound to you. I issue a decree that in all the dominion of my kingdom, men are to reverently fear and tremble before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, enduring and steadfast forever, and his kingdom is one which will not be destroyed, and his dominion will be forever. He rescues and saves, and performs signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. He who has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions." So this man, Daniel, prospered and enjoyed success in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.